It's a quarter to 6 in Jerusalem. You're watching CNN and a special Connect the World for you. Welcome back. Now, not much has gone right for President Donald Trump, has it, since he moved into the White House? And many of the new administration's troubles can be linked back to Russia. We are now learning that high-level advisors to then-presidential nominee Donald Trump were in constant contact with Russians known to U.S. intelligence before the inauguration. Flynn was one of those high-level advisors, along with then-campaign chairman Paul Manafort. U.S. intelligence agencies are now trying to figure out the primary motive for the communications. Manafort denies the allegations. More, of course, on that as we get it. Now, two states living side by side in peace. One Israeli, one Palestinian. For decades, that's been the bedrock of international efforts to end one of the longest-running conflicts in the world. But we could soon witness a groundbreaking shift in U.S. policy. A senior White House official tells CNN that President Trump will not insist on a two-state solution when he meets with Israel's prime minister if two states are no longer the main goal for one of the main brokers in this conflict, and Israel continues expanding its settlements. Where does that leave Palestinian dreams of statehood? Well, I'm joined now by a senior advisor to the Palestinian Authority President, Mahmoud Abbas. Husam Zomlot is live for you in the West Bank. If the US and Israel do not explicitly back Palestinian statehood today, what are the options for Palestinians going forward?
Well, we, the Palestinians, and with us, the international community, it's the consensus of the international community for many, many decades, as you said, are really much closer to achieving Palestinian statehood, to achieving the end of the occupation, Israel's occupation, the end of the conflict, than all those who want to see a different scenario. I mean, the majority of the Palestinian people are supporting the two-state solution. The majority of the Israelis are supporting the two-state solution. The rest of the world, as has been confirmed in the UN Security Council only a few weeks ago, has a consensus on the two-state solution and the contours of the solution. Right. And let me, Picky, if you allow me, to start by saying that, in fact, it took us so many years until President Reagan put a condition on us, the Palestinians, to abandon our dream of a one democratic, egalitarian state for all, for Jews and Muslims and Christians, and we accepted the Reagan administration condition and conceded painfully on 78% of the land and allied ourselves with the U.S. And ever since then, the U.S. has been the sole broker of achieving the two-state solution. And therefore, this is first and foremost a U.S. vision for peace. We haven't got a solution at the moment. So, sorry, let me jump in here, because you say that you feel that you are closer than ever to a solution, and yet there is a potential for the carpet to be pulled from beneath the possibility of a two-state solution as of yet, if sources close to CNN are to be believed. Would you concede, as many Palestinians themselves suggest, that it is the leadership, it is those who were brokering the deal who are to blame on the Palestinian side, as much perhaps as the Israelis, for not having found a solution yet? I don't think you can blame really the Palestinian leadership. I mean, to start with, a compromise of 78% of what the Palestinians consider to be their own historic Palestine was a very historic compromise. Allying ourselves with the U.S. policy was a very thoughtful decision by the Palestinians. And then the one who signed the Oslo peace process was President Abbas, who's still with us. The one who has defended the foundations of the peace process is still with us. The things that changed has been in Israel. All those who pushed for peace in the Israeli side have died, and the ones who took over, particularly Prime Minister Netanyahu and his very right-wing extreme coalition, are the ones who are trying now against the majority of us and the Israeli people and the international community to reframe the conflict and convince us that there is no tomorrow. No, we believe there is tomorrow, and we believe that the aspirations, the righteous aspirations of people, we believe in international legitimacy and international consensus.
So I guess the question is simply this: if the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu returns here without uttering the word Palestinian state, in Washington. If we hear from a Trump administration, they believe that is not the only solution out there. And this satisfies the more right wing of the politicians and the ideology here in Israel. What do you think the consequences might be going forward? I'm thinking about security and the potential for conflict, because this would be a provocative move, correct?
We are not really anticipating anything from Netanyahu. The Israeli Prime Minister has been very clear about his agenda, and his agenda is precisely to deliver a lethal blow against any solution, by the way, for that matter. He is interested in a non-solution era whereby he just finishes off his ideological belief that all of us, the 6 billion Palestinians, should vanish in a thin air, or an apartheid regime could be erected, as it is the case, by the way. What we are anticipating, however, is President Trump's remarks after today's meeting, and that would be very crucial, and we are hoping that President Trump is going to deliver his new vision. He says that he wants to reach the ultimate deal. He wants to achieve peace. He complained about Israel only a few days ago that there is no land left. So obviously President Trump understands that this is a land issue and this is a two-state solution issue, and he did say that the settlements are anti-peace or are not helping in the cause of peace. However, we are following all that, and we are not without options, my friend. We have so many options here, and the first and foremost of all, that we are here to stay, and regardless of the institutional arrangements above our heads, we do have political and civil rights that are legitimate, and they are enshrined in international law.
Okay, we're going to leave it there, but we absolutely thank you for your time out of Ramallah today, helping us provide some nuance on what is a very complicated and important story. Thank you. A lot to take in then this hour. I'm going to wrap it up for you next, taking a very short break. Back after this.